Hare Krishna. We'll begin with prayers. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 4, verse number 9. So here we go. The chapter titled as Sati Quits Her Body. That's the title. And till now, what has happened is Maitreya Muni is inquiring further as continuation of what, Vidura is inquiring further and Maitreya Muni is continuing the entire description of past time. What happened in the previous chapter was there was a dialogue between Lord Shiva and Sati Devi, and now Sati Devi has already gone in this chapter. She's gone for to attend the yajna at her father's house. So now Lord Shiva did feel kind of sad because of this whole thing, but then Sati Devi, after going there, she was not received very well. Even though she went with paraphernalia, and even Nandi, everybody, she went with the entire paraphernalia and all the associates and different associates of Lord Shiva. So everybody went together, and still Sati was not nicely received by Daksha. She was very excited to go, and she was there to attend the yajna along with her family. Now, only her sisters and mother kind of responded to her, kind of received her. Rest of them did not receive her well because everybody else was afraid of Daksha too. So none of them received her that well. So she was not welcome, basically. So today's verse is text number 9. Arudrabhagam tamivekshya chardvaram Pitra cha deve kritahelanam vibhau anadruta yagya sadasya dishwari chukopalokan iva dakshati rusham. We'll read once again. Arudrabhagam tam avekshya chadvaram Pitra cha deve kritahelanam vibhau anadrita yagya sadasyadishwari chukopalokan iva dakshyati rusha. So, word to word meaning, synonyms. Arudra Bhagam, having no oblations for Lord Shiva. Tam, that. Aveksha, seeing. Cha, and. Advaram, place of sacrifice. Pitra, by her father. Cha, and. Deve, to Lord Shiva. Krita Hedanam, contempt having been shown. Vibhav, to the Lord. Anadrita, not being received. Okay, that's okay. Yagya Sadasi, in the assembly of sacrifice. Adishwari Sati. Chikopa became greatly angry. Lokan, the 14 worlds, Iva, as if. Dakshati, burning. Rusha, with anger. So now translation. Present in the arena of sacrifice, Sati saw that there were no oblations for her husband, Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife, Daksha did not receive her either. Thus, she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn him with her eyes. No, Srila Prabhupada's purport. By offering oblations in the fire while chanting the Vedic mantra Swaha, one offers respect to all the demigods, great sages, and the Pitas, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. It is customary that Shiva is one of those who are offered respects. But Sati, while personally present in the arena, saw that the Brahmanas did not utter the mantra offering oblations to Lord Shiva, Namah Shivaya Swaha. She was not sorry for herself, for she was ready to come to her father's house without being invited, but she wanted to see whether or not her husband was being respected. To see her relatives, her sisters, and mother was not so important. Even when she was received by her mother and sisters, she did not care, for she was most concerned that her husband was being insulted in the sacrifice. When she marked the insult, she became greatly angry, and she looked at her father so angrily that Daksha appeared to burn in her vision. So this is our verse for today. What a pastime. So in this verse, we are hearing about how Sati Devi, what is happening within her actually, what is happening from outside, what is her contemplations, entire thing is revealed here. So first thing how Prabhupada actually starts the purport is by offering oblations in the fire while chanting the Vedic mantra, one offers respect to all the demigods, great sages, pitas, so including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu. So even while someone is doing a yajna, without knowing the meaning, this is what they are doing. But here is Daksha, who is thoroughly, learned in Vedic mantras, right? He is not like a ordinary, person who doesn't know what he's doing. And so when Daksha, even after knowing that this is actually Lord Shiva is a part of this whole yagya that he's offering, and Lord Shiva is one of the in that category also, right? And he's also a very respected person among the, learned people. And not only that, then he is also one of the guna avatara. So there is multiple layers of uh, um, thought process that he is blind to in this respect. So Daksha has completely just like, by disregarding Lord Shiva in in a directly or indirectly, he has also disregarded the entire Vedic process of offering a sacrifice. Now, when the sacrifice is being done, it has to be according to Vedic injunction. So he's not even doing now according to Vedic injunction, because he's intentionally missing or intentionally neglecting one of the mantras that is part of the sacrifice that he is actually offering. So that's the peak of one's envy. Like, one cannot see somebody is one thing, but one cannot even like take their name is another thing, and one can forsake the their own practice of, you know anything higher, like Vedic chanting, just because it includes the person's name, and that is like another level of envy here. And so this is what Prabhupada is sharing by this first few sentences. He's really clearing our thought process of what actually is going on here. This is not just like a family party where you don't call the person, and then it's not just that at that level, it's beyond that level of family at this point. So it's customary that Lord Shiva is one of the persons who are offered respects. But here, Daksha is doing a big sacrifice. The entire person, everybody is there, and the priests are there. Everyone is actually just joining this intentional neglect or, offense that is being committed as a community at most at this point against Lord Shiva, who is a Vaishnava. So now here, then this is Daksha's position, and those who are afraid of Daksha, that category. Now, what is she facing, and what is her, what's happening within her is another angle of what is Prabhupada explaining here. So now Sati, she was present there. I mean, she was something that your husband was not, or this Vaishnava was not respected. You hear it after the fact as something, and then you are there when this is happening is the second thing. So now Sati, she's personally present there in the arena, and she saw that the Brahmanas are not uttering the mantra that is supposed to be spoken. Now, at this point, her whole personal insult, or, that she felt sad, for not being welcomed by her own, paternal or maternal family, is shifted to thinking from a different way. Like, oh, it's not me that's not invited here. My husband or Lord Shiva is not being respected, you know. So her vision changes to actually this particular person is not um, being offered respect. Not being invited is one thing, that itself is level one, right? And then now another level two. Actually, he already did level two already, but it is almost like a deeper kind, that he is not uttering the mantra even that offers oblations to Lord Shiva. Now, again, what else is she having internally? What else is she thinking or contemplating? For her, it was not just to come and see her relatives, her sisters and mother. Yes, that was one part, but that's not the only part. Now, the priority has shifted at this point to see if Daksha is offering respect or not. That has become the priority. So even her own insult is not actually insult toward her. She understood that it's actually the insult towards my husband. And especially, it's one thing about husband and one thing is about Lord Shiva, who is actually such a dhira, and he's a very respectable person. So now here is the boundary crossed that my Vaishnava husband is not receiving respect. So her focus has shifted to about her Vaishnava husband here. Now, when she marked the insult, she became angry and greatly angry. And she looked at her father so angrily that Daksha appeared to burn in her vision. It was such a powerful feeling that she's now facing within herself. I mean, this pastime goes on very nicely. It's a continuum, but there's a lot more that will come up, how she processes and what she does with this observation, what she does with the feeling that she's going through, and how she approaches it, not just from her feeling perspective, but from a perspective of what would any um, do any person do when an offense is committed against a Vaishnava. So this is something that is like a bigger picture is opening at this point in this pastime, and a wider view is given into this pastime and the actions that are happening in this pastime actually. So this is where this verse, there's a light that this verse is giving to see things from multiple layers of um, um, vision, basically, So that's what I received at this point from this particular verse. So we'll read one more time. We'll read the verse here. Yeah. Arudra bhagam tam avekshya chadvaram. Pitra cha deve krita helanam vibhav. Anadrita yagya sadas adishwari. Chukopaloka niva dakshati rusha. Present in the arena of sacrifice, Sati saw that there were no oblations for her husband, Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife, Daksha did not receive her either. Thus, she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn him with her eyes. Yeah, so how envy can manifest at different levels and layers, and to what extent it can go to even neglect one's own spiritual practice that one is trying to adopt. Vedic practice, one is trying to adopt and trying to follow. To that extent it can go. That is one thing. And the other thing is what is um, Sati is demonstrating also is that she went apparently for meeting her relatives and this and that. And she's also a Vaishnavi. So when someone is doing something, there may be multiple layers of reasons. And now her whole purpose has become to see if her husband, specifically about Lord Shiva, if he's being respected or not. And if not respected, what is her course of action she's going to consider doing? This whole thing is happening. And in between this, also it's family. It is also familial relationships are also there involved. Um, there was something in 11th canto actually that I got recently. I was coming across just before starting Uddhava Gita. Actually, Krishna has already like arranged for the Yadu dynasty to be withdrawn, and he has planned his own departure from this world. Now Uddhava is there, and Uddhava is talking to Krishna, and Krishna is yes, I mean, there's a lot of multiple contemplations of Krishna that is there in the, but we're just coming to this point that is related to, somewhat related to this context that we are in today, is Krishna tells Uddhava to completely give up attachment to relatives, family, and friends. And he tells Uddhava to fix your mind on me and then wander the earth. So that is the instruction he gives in the beginning, So before even speaking the entire, so he's here trying to see, to give to Uddhava Jnana part of it, or Jnana and Vairagya part of it. So when he tells that in the purport, there's all BBT purport, and I think there's a quote or Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's, where what is attachment to family here in this context? There is an elaboration there. So one is attachment because they are related to me and they're extensions of me, and that is one kind of attachment. And the second is attachment that this family member of mine is a Vaishnava, and they're co-Vaishnavas, that we are living in the same household. So the attachment in that level also is there. Now here, I mean, of course, in that context of Uddhava's context, um, he is not going to be left with anybody anyways. Everybody is going back except him. He is staying back by the instruction of Krishna. So here we can see that suddenly, or like, as a natural effect of Sati's contemplations are shifting from her familial attachment to seeing the attachment to Lord Shiva as a great Vaishnava. And in that perspective, what will be her role or her action for offense against her husband, who is a exalted Vaishnava? That's where the shift is happening now, visibly for us. I mean, inside her, it's always there, but in the purports, we are seeing um, this shift. The pastime is teaching us the shift that is happening. So I was inspired to see that, actually, how our contemplations, when we can contemplate from that angle, it's even anger is becoming justified. So yeah, like Hanuman, and there are other examples too. Anyway, so that's where I will pause. 7:54. If anyone has any thoughts to share, we can definitely please share. We'll be happy to hear. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much for
Hare
joining.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Just,
Krishna Prabhu. Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to uh, thank you for discussing this verse and very nicely providing some really good examples. Uh, this whole pastime, when we look at it from Sati's perspective, and then from Daksha's perspective, it almost seems like you can justify, uh, so many of your actions.
I know.
Um, and it is it is only from the Shastras very purposely bring these real life examples to
Yeah.
help us see beyond the mundane.
Mm.
And I was just thinking that this particular incident of um, Prajapati Daksha and Mother Sati and Lord Shiva is such a great example
Yeah.
for Vaishnava Sangha and actually any community for that matter, not
Yes.
necessarily Vaishnava community.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is like very lots of intricacies in this entire pastime between Lord Shiva and Daksha and Sati and Shiva, and then again coming back to Shiva and Daksha. It's very interesting how Daksha's approach has been like consistently similar. And okay, how actually Lord Shiva was so patient last time also, right? This in the last several chapters that
Correct.
that's he didn't mind anything at all. But now when Sati leaves, Daksha is going to face it
Correct.
big time. And I was just thinking about that also, how the the decision of a Vaishnava to take action is so um, thought out, and uh, it's not just like an emotional decision that is taken, actually speaking, in terms of. But when there is offense against another living entity, specifically another Vaishnava, and there is disrespect, and it just keeps on building one of, like, there's levels that just keep increasing. Level one, okay, level two, level three, it keeps increasing.
Correct.
Then drastic decisions are taken by Vaishnavas, and it's sometimes it's scary, but it is probably the need also. It was just this big topic, like I said,
Yeah.
of contemplating. Yeah,
So, Daksha was more self-centered, right? He was angry because he was not given respect.
yeah,
And then here we see that Sati is angry because her husband is not given respect,
yeah.
right? And from Sati's perspective, she didn't listen to her husband.
I know. That's another
And
interesting,
so if
the
you if
whole
you look
chapter.
at all the dynamics here that is going on, it's like, oh my God, there is so much of these. Why is she putting herself in a situation when she's been already warned, uh,
Exactly.
right? But that attachment, I mean,
Mm.
what we can see here is that attachment,
Yeah,
um, to relationships or whatnot,
yeah,
can blind us. And we
yes,
have
yeah,
those attachments based on whatever designations, like I'm a daughter, I'm a father, mother, or friend,
yeah,
or devotee, or whatever be that. And we carry those definitions of ourselves, and
yeah,
then those attachments uh, are so strong
yeah, yeah,
that we are not able to heed to counsel that is given by
yeah.
qualified Vaishnavas.
Exactly. This morning, for some reason, I woke up thinking, or in my dream, actually, I usually forget. This is a personal thing. I keep forgetting my Bhagavatam class turn. And this time I put alarm the day before and the day after. And this morning, so I just set up like that. And I woke up. So last night, before just going to bed, I looked through the verse. And morning, I woke up thinking, um, Sati is not um, abiding by, or considering even what Lord Shiva said to not go, um, is one level, at the level of a husband. The other level altogether is he's at the position of spiritual master. He's an acharya, Lord
Mm,
Shiva.
mm,
And Lord Shiva is like one of the prominent four sampradaya, establishes a sampradaya. So from that perspective, if we even see that, right, I was thinking, so her thing, what, I mean, of course, at the end of it, we even learn so much from her example of leaving her body. That's a big thing to do for anybody. And she cut off her attachments at one stroke. She kept having this attachment drag her, or we can say. how am I to say about Lord Sati? But then I'm saying that her attachment seemed to be pulling her towards the direction, but it didn't take a minute for her to give it up.
Hmm.
It didn't take a second for her to decide to give it up, because it's the quality of when we probably, for example, we may see that, oh my gosh, yeah, then she died or something. That's not the point that I was thinking. Is association of a great Vaishnava being there naturally actually gives opportunities for us to reflect and shift our things, even after we have probably and seemingly committed a, an unnecessary action. Yes, she could have been more with precaution. That's one angle. The other angle is she went, but then her mind completely shifted now, not on her own disrespect, but her disrespect of, offended towards Lord Shiva. Here it is said it's husband, but then that husband is a great husband, honestly speaking. He's like a.
Hmm.
So now the course correction, she took that as a course correction almost to herself, and also to demonstrate zero tolerance for offense. Till now, the offense was just heard of. Now it is in front of her, it is manifested. And what is her action? She gave up in 1 second. She didn't go and explain to Daksha and just like sit and say, or go back to Lord Shiva and say, this shouldn't have happened. And I mean, that's why I'm not saying everybody should just like burn themselves, but I'm just saying that giving up of attachment within the heart, one burns their attachment. That's our level, I'm thinking. In, that also as a real sannyas at heart also happened out of that's something that I'm still contemplating, how this extreme so-called mistake from her side also actually had she took it to renounce it all once for all. And what am I to do when I have to renounce something from inside? External manifestation for a practitioner is not actually less important than internal development. So internally, what am I supposed to do if it is my attachment versus, um, you know, the after effects of attachment? That's one thing. And the second thing was, of course, externally, what am I supposed to do when there's offense against it? So I was thinking in that direction also. Very,
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That was really nice. In she didn't burn Daksha, but she burned
ah,
herself, right? It's
because yeah, I mean,
not the
sorry,
object of attachment, but her,
attachment
her bodily,
itself.
because she was attached to
Yeah,
Daksha at a bodily level as
yeah,
a daughter,
yeah.
and she wanted to dissolve that. Okay,
Yeah, so
great.
I was thinking from that perspective that it's
Thank you for
amazing.
presenting that nice perspective.
Thank you, Prabhu. So thank you very much. I think we are 8:05. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined, and thank you to Srila Prabhupada and our disciplic succession for giving all this in such a great detail that we can even think about these things. And thank you to Srimad Bhagavatam, who has manifested for our benefit in this age of Kali, without which we don't know how we will just survive. So thank you for all the blessings that we have. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.